Can you even stand it? Oh, it just looks so good. People immediately asking questions about what's it gonna sound like acoustically? How am I gonna handle acoustic treatment? Did I do it for just looks or for acoustics? Most of the answers to those questions is I don't know, to be honest. I literally just went in yesterday. I haven't done anything in here. My first response though is yes, the room is much more live. I walked in and sang something. Someone to blame, someone to blame. I mean, it's pretty lively. The thing I don't want to do is put those black panels back up here to where when you're looking at me, all you see is the blackness. Kind of defeats the whole purpose. But I also realize that that's a pretty live sounding room and that may be problematic. The thing is, I don't do a lot of recording in here. Podcasting, yes, but all the recording happens in there. And if I take those black panels and put them in there, that room will sound more dead and be better for recording. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but I do know that it's gorgeous. And I do know I need to at least set some things back up in here. So that's what I'm gonna do now.
This is not a story. This is not a story I will write.
Today was supposed to be a recording day, but let's be honest, that's not gonna happen. First half of my day, worked out and then had to watch Owen, who's still home sick from school. He's got a fever, but nothing else, which is just weird. But he's better this afternoon, which is good. Had to watch him, so I was doing a lot of just business work this morning. And then had to pick up the girls from school. And so it's 3 o'clock I made it down to the studio. But I'm glad I'm postponing recording day because I think getting this room set up is just, obviously it's what I'm gonna do. Let me show you what I'm thinking real quick. You may recall the way this was laid out before. I had those two really long, like 7.5 feet long panels laying on top, covering, 15 feet of shelf. And then below I had two of these. So these are just really basic, 2 inches thick, 2 foot by 4 foot panels meant to just kind of hang and give you some absorption. So these were hanging here. Now I mentioned before, I don't want to put all that back because literally it covers up all the wood. But walking in this morning and hearing how live the room is, I've realized I need to do something. And I have a few different ideas, one of which was to bring the gobos back in here. I really don't want to do that. They get so annoying and they're big and bulky. Moving around all the time would be annoying. I think I have an idea. So I'm bringing these two back in and I'm gonna put them up here. Everything I do in here, by the way, I run by my wife because she's the designer. I texted her a picture of this and she said, looks great. So we're good. Now the problem I run into, I've got this big honking panel here. That's one of the 7 foot long ones. And trying to decide best way to use it because it's super thick. It's thicker than these. It would just be great for absorption. I don't have any good corners in this room for bass trapping, so that's out. But I thought about there. See that panel over there? It's another one of these that I put up here. Same exact design, but I wonder if this one would fit there just to give the room some more absorption to help it not bounce around. Then I can take that one and put it here and have 3 lined up all nice and pretty. Already, I think that's making the room sound better. Let's check. Someone to blame, someone to blame, someone to blame, someone to blame. Okay, that was surprising. 3 panels killed this room a bunch. One of them was already up, it was over here, but having 3 together, and the spacing is really just for looks. The idea is sound is bouncing around, it gets absorbed there. Also, my speakers right here fire in that direction, so those will absorb some of that. Couple problems, obviously, my speaker tweeter is about right here. Which means it's still bouncing off the wood and coming back. It just is. Not too worried about it. Again, I don't get too technical with this. I can mix in whatever room you put me in as long as I have time to learn the room. That said, I would like to diet down a little bit, and that worked really well. Now, what do I do with this mamma jamma and its twin brother? One thought I had was to put it in here. So this is the tracking room ugly, ugly, ugly room. But it's got this raised platform thing that goes, it makes an L shape. It goes here and here. And I wonder if those two panels would do great just sitting here, lining the wall, just to deaden this space a little bit more. These big gobos here, as much as I love them, they only do so much. And I can't have 3 and 4 of them in here. I'll get trapped. You'll read about me. Musician dies trapped in his home studio or something. But I do feel like these are too big and bulky to have out there permanently, and they're way too much of a pain to carry back and forth. I like having the idea of having things set up in here to sound good. One thing I've noticed shooting videos, especially when I'm playing guitar, is I've got to get the gobos out in a way just to get a good shot, right? Because they'll block the view. It would be great if there was more deadness in this room. So a couple of ideas. The easiest thing to do would be what I said before, to lay one here and then to lay one here and just have it be there. But I also have this ugly bare wall that you never see. I could feasibly hang one there, but I think that somewhat defeats the purpose of these gobos. Let me show you. The way I've historically set up this room is to make a V shape with the gobos and have basically my body be the third side of a triangle. And then I'm singing or playing into the V, and then hopefully my body is blocking some reflections. The problem with that is all of this wall, if these are like this in kind of a V shape, and again they're spaced out a little bit, then it's blocking the sound from that wall, but this reflections are still coming back off of here. I think it would be cool, and I think I just convinced myself to put those big panels here and then have these be the other two. So basically if we have 4 walls, big panel here, that's 2, and then these 2 act as 2 more walls, and I can move them around as needed for placement and all those things, but in general, we're just gonna deaden down this room even more. Doesn't make a lot of sense to put one on that bare wall because this gobo is almost always here, and if it's not, I can always, if I'm doing drums in here and it's in the way, I can lay it on its side and stack it on some amps so that it creates some absorption there if I need to, but I think that's what I want to do.
If I wrote this story, I'd give myself a battle I can fight.
So look at that. See how there's an air gap and it's angled? It's not terribly crucial in this room, but it is helpful because that extra gap of air, by leaning it, gives it a little better response to absorbing low frequencies, which just in general is not a bad idea. Listen to how much better I sound in here, in this space, than I did even out here around the door and the drywall. You can hear my voice bouncing around everywhere. It just doesn't sound very good. Then we come in here, we stand where I would sing, and it's a lot better. Not perfect, but better. Back in the main room, and I do like having these 3 panels, but there's a problem. It leaves a big ugly space here. This isn't supposed to be here. Right? That's where one of the plant panels was. At this point I'm getting nitpicky, but I think going back to 2, which is the only one Pam approved, by the way, and moving one back over here is probably the right choice. Design time is over. I can't get over how great it looks. I've only got a few minutes before the end of the day. This day was a little bit blown, mostly on my own. It's my bad, coach. But I am playing a little show tonight, and I haven't played some of these songs in their entirety, sitting down with a guitar, in a while. So I'm actually gonna practice just a little bit before the show, at least make sure I remember how these things go.
Every day's a new day, a new chance to get something I love. And again, I need somewhere to
Just kidding. Forky's Barbecue. Awesome barbecue joint. And where I'm playing my show tonight. Brace yourself. See, I used to live around the corner from here, and they have a sign out front that says Thursday Songwriter Nights. So I contacted them because I wanted to play more, and I got in, and a guy named J.D. Wood, great guy, great songwriter, runs this thing, and he keeps asking me back to come play. Super fun.
I am always wanting something more.
What is happening? How are you? Good to see you.
I know that it's dead. I've been chasing, I am out of breath from all this reason. I don't wanna do this anymore. So I surrender now.
Fun show. Got a free meal out of it. Ribs.
This is not a story. This is not a story.